What is up, guys? Jack and Zach here with Toasty DIY, and today we're going to be putting together a $900 gaming PC featuring the dream combo, the 7600.
And this is actually a side project for PCBros. We have pulled together some money and are gonna give this to Jake as a Christmas present. He has no clue. So if you don't know, Jake's the only one without a PC at PCBros, and he's the front desk guy. And it's about time he gets one.
So now we're going to show you guys how we put together this gaming PC. We're going to do some benchmarking, and then we're going to talk about the value proposition of the 7600 combo. So kicking this build off, we have the Ryzen 5 7600. This is a 6-core, 12-thread processor that is going to definitely get the job done. It does come with a stock cooler, but Zach's going to tell you about a better cooler that we're going to be putting on it.
All right, for the cooler, we have the Polar ST5 120 tower cooler. This is ARGB. Tower coolers are great because they are still affordable, still cheap, and they're super easy if you're new to PC building.
For the motherboard, we went with the Gigabyte B650M Gaming. So you save a lot of money going with a micro ATX board. This one actually does have Wi-Fi on it, which is pretty cool. So you're gonna get the latest Wi-Fi protocol, Bluetooth.
All right, and for the RAM, we have 32 gigabytes of DDR5, 6000 megahertz RAM. This is the Trident Z5. And it's RGB.
Looks clean, is clean. Storage, we have the Clev 1TB NVMe Gen 4 SSD. 1TB is gonna be plenty because I think before he maybe had a 240 gig SSD, and this is pretty decent because it's good to start with. It'll fit most of your games, and later on, it's really easy to add more storage in that motherboard.
And for the GPU, we are rocking the RX 7600 with 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM. This thing is about 250 bucks and an awesome GPU for this build.
For the power supply, we went the Sigotep SN650. This is an awesome power supply. It has 650 watts of power. It's 80 plus gold. It's not a modular, so that's really the only downside with it. So you can bump up to the 750 if you need modular, but this is definitely really good for 50 bucks.
And for the case, we are rocking the Montech Air 100 with 4 ARGB fans that it comes with.
All right, guys, so now that we talked about all the parts, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of building, and then we're gonna test this PC out. All right, guys, so to kick off the benchmarks, we got a pretty demanding title. So this is Sons of the Forest, and we are currently running pretty much max settings. I'm doing 1080p for this test, and we're on ultra settings with FSR 3.0 set to balanced. Here's some of the other settings you guys can see. Very demanding title, very pretty looking game though, I will say. And as you guys can see, even though we got these really nice environmental details, really good looking rain, getting over 100 FPS. I've told people this before, and I'll keep saying it until it doesn't work anymore, but the 7600 combo is one of the best combos out there. And as you guys can see, we're able to get, 100 plus FPS at 1080p, even on these AAAs. And then even switching over to something like 1440p, we can still get really high FPS, especially with the help of something like FSR. I mean, Kevin got like some brain damage off that. He can't speak or hear now or something. Yeah, even moving, generating new terrain, we're still getting pretty close to 100 FPS. I did go ahead and enable XMP, go ahead and make sure it's stable. That is something that I often tell people, if it's not stable, just don't use it. It's not a big deal, just because you're not getting 6000 megahertz or whatever your RAM's rated for, it really doesn't change performance much in most games. You're talking maybe a few FPS, but it looks like the 6000 megahertz so far is stable, so that's what we're running. I adjusted the fan curves as well, so the build is running nice and good. The only real complaint so far I have is the 7600, this one. I got a little bit of coil whine when we get into higher FPS, but it's hardly noticeable, and it happens. It can happen on the lowest end of cards, it can happen on 4090s and 7900 XTXs. We've had it happen on all of them. But I think this is pretty safe to say. AAA like this, or AAA graphics wise, looking really good. Let's go ahead and switch up games. All right guys, we are now playing Apex Legends. We're currently running max FOV at 1080p, and we're pretty much running like very high settings. I don't think we're gonna have a problem maintaining 144 FPS, which actually is the in-game cap unless you unlock it. But 144 is enough for me. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a go, but I mean, yeah, we're utilizing everything really well. As you all can see, we're using about 10 and a half gigs of RAM, so we have like plenty of RAM to work with here. And then we even have a little bit of extra headroom. We have a lot of extra headroom on the Ryzen processor. You can see we're only at like 30%. Yeah. Oh, not the dual P2020s. These things are horrible. Oh my god, say I rest my case. Alright, well, that was Apex Legends. Let's go on to another game. Alright guys, it's been a while, but we're playing some Halo Infinite. This is actually a map I don't believe I've ever seen before. We're just doing quick play, but we're max FOV. We're running high setting preset. This game doesn't really have any upscaling or anything to my knowledge. So just the high preset, max FOV, 1080p. And hey, check it out. AAA title, we're getting over 100 FPS. Pretty close to high refresh rate as well. I'm sure if we ran like medium or even low settings, you know, we could definitely manage that. So it's like some type of weird capture the flag mode or something. A very tight capture the flag, but it definitely pushes the envelope when it comes to you know, high graphic settings games. I cannot hit my shot. Flag. Oh, that's easy enough, unless I get sniped in the back of the head. Hell yeah. There we go, won the game. So, hey, high settings Halo, no problems at all. I got one more game to test. Alright guys, we're now playing the finals. We're currently in 92 by 1080p. We actually have some ray tracing on in this title, which is pretty cool for an AMD card. We're going to be running FSR2 set to balanced. So, high settings, balanced FSR for upscaling, and we are running some ray tracing at medium. See what this thing can do. We're going to be doing a snowball fight, so this is going to be interesting. Alright, so we just got in the game. We're using 18 gigs of RAM right now, which this game is pretty RAM hungry. Maybe the upscaling has something to do with it as well. We're using 97% of our GPU too, so this is a utilizing game right here. But hey, 130 plus FPS, or at least around 130 it looks like most of the time, and it looks really good. Oh, they just threw a present at me. Reaches like 90C, will the fans hit 100%? Just because, you know, these Ryzen systems, and with especially the RX cards when they're brand new, they're just very power efficient. They're not super loud, and honestly, they don't need a whole lot of cooling. Yeah. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up with 30 mark time spy so we can get a cent per point score, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Alright guys, we got done benchmarking this PC, and it did really good. I always tell people the 7600-7600 combo is definitely a dream combo for 1080p and even some 1440p.
And if you want to see a full in-depth video of us building this PC and the reaction, head over to PCBros YouTube channel, where I have edited that plus a short if you want to see a little behind the scenes.
And for that 3D Mark Time Spy score that we always do on the main channel, we got a score of 10,615, which ends up being about an 8 cent per point, which is pretty reasonable, especially since we had some extra bling on this, like the tower cooler. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to check out Toasty Bros, Toasty Clips, and PC Bros, because we got plenty of content coming out on them.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Peace out.